Good morning, How are you? Yesterday was okay. I did a few trades, totaling about 0.4%, but I had to quit early yesterday, so I'll do the sheet in a bit later. So just to say, it was around 0.4% plus the rebate, which will be bigger than normal because there were multiple trades that went on. Today is going to be a day where I actually try and keep to the 5-minute video, so it's going to be quite succinct. I'll direct you by putting I'll just tell you when you need to look at the screen. So been through yesterday's trade. Our forecast for today, I think we can have quite a strong day. So it's a day to sell the VIX basically. Everything looks really strong. Market's on a tear anyway, so it's unless something changes, I think we'll close above 2100. So that's yesterday and today. Now you need to look at the screen. What's coming up is, I think I've found a new edge. What you have here is two VIX instruments, but what I'm doing is I'm arbitraging the 2 months, so the May VIX future and the June VIX futures. Now I'm selling the May because the closer you are to the cash, the more it walks in lockstep with the cash, and the further away, the more subdued it is. So say the cash moves 2% in a day, the front month, so the May future, which is the one you can trade at the moment, might move say 1.2. These are just random numbers just to give you an example, and then the June future might move 0.8. So they move at different speeds, which creates opportunities, obviously. So what I'm doing here, this is still in demo, and basically I've been testing this, and this is something that I want to start doing once the account's a bit bigger, probably in a few weeks to a month. Reasons are, number one, I can capture like 1 tick of profit in this trade. That's 100,000 a point on each side. So if the VIX moves 1 full point, I'll make £100,000, or you will, or we will. And if the VIX moves, so basically whichever way the VIX moves. So the VIX is cut up into increments of tenths. So 1 tick is worth £10,000 in this instance. So this is just a screenshot from my own software, because without my software this would be very, very hard to do, because the moments are quite fleeting. So I managed to capture a moment here where the VIX has crossed over, and it's gone from kind of evens. Well, it's come from about minus 20 grand because of the spread costs, and it's caught up, and it's now in a position of profit. That's half a tick. With that size, that's 100,000. That's 5 grand. I guess we could capture that, but I'm really looking for a bit more, because if there's some slippage, you can lose money. So you want to kind of have 1 tick in hand, because sometimes you do get slipped. The market moves as it closes, and if there's a few tenths of a second difference, slippage happens, positive and negative, by the way. But obviously you don't like negative slippage. So just to sum this up, this is something that I want to start doing soon. I just need to run through all the math again and iron out any quirks. But I think this is good, because on this trade we would have made 3 grand in straight up rebate before we even make a penny. And if I take it off here, that would have been like 8,000. This is, as I said, it's still in demo. I'm looking for 10,000. I've looked at the P&L chart, because I didn't have a profit and loss thing earlier, and basically it was up to 15,000 already. So it does move, and it's obviously been going for quite a while. But I think this is a way we can add like probably averaging 0.2, 0.3 to every day over the course of a month. They will come in bursts though, but this is something that I definitely want to implement when the account's a little bigger, because very margin intensive, as you can see. That's, it's basically sucking up, I don't know, it would suck up the vast majority of the margin available. So next thing quickly, I'm going to take this off the screen so we don't get confused. Next thing is this is just very quick, just for interest's sake. This is an order book, and this is the S&P futures using another platform called Trading Technologies. This is how pricing on really works if you read order flow. This is how I started when I really got professional and serious, 4 or 5 years ago. And now I often refer back to the guy that taught me, who was a scalper. This is what you learn on. No charts, just looking at this. And these are the bids, and these are the offers. So there's 179 contracts in the queue, the line, as you like to say in America, and then there's 115 here. So the price in this example, we're at 2091, and there's 115 people waiting to sell. Now the price won't move up until you've cleared off those 115, and the price won't move down past 2090.75 until you've cleared up those 179 contracts. And once you have, then the price will step down to the next level, try and clear out those 227. Obviously it's not that clear because the numbers are changing all the time, and there's a lot of spoofing and stuff that goes on. So sometimes you'll see there's like a huge number. You can't really, there's nothing here, but sometimes you're like 5,000, and that's just a spoof to try and catch some people. So people think, oh, the order book's really strong, and as people go to buy, they rip the order away, and the order book, the liquidity dries up, and the price rolls down. So it's a very precise way of trading. It's a cheap way of trading because there's no spreads, but this is taxable because you can't do this through IG. There's no rebates, and I guess this is probably 4 times cheaper in commissions, but you've got to pay for this platform, and that's not cheap. That's several thousand a month. And anyway, I'm waffling a little bit here, but I wanted to show you how this works and how the market really works. If you want to see market microstructure and the mechanics of it, this is obviously the very top of it, where you can see the order book, the price, the bids and the offers, and how the price actually moves. So you've got to chew through, you've got to clear out these before the price will move up, and then clear out those before the price will move up. This green line, incidentally, is the high of the day. And then last thing for the video, because we're already running at 8 minutes, it's just, I don't do technical analysis because I think you'd have better luck reading goats entrails, but there are certain, I guess, way the lines form on the chart which really give you a little bit of an indication of supply and demand. This is something which I've figured out on my own. This doesn't come from any book. This is just looking at stuff for years and seeing repetitive patterns. I don't know if you can see. I'll point to this second arrow in here. I don't know if you can see this in the video. The arrow pointing here is pointing to. It looks like an arrow point. It's pointing down, then up, and then down. And I call it a tooth, because if you pull a tooth out, it looks like a tooth, right? So it just doesn't have the crown. But when you see these, and you see this kind of spiky, kind of forked tongue thing going down, it usually means things will go up, and when you see them going up, so the fork tongue's spiking up here, or this is a tooth upside down because the crown would be down here, right? It's a little lopsided, it's not a perfect example, but you can see when you see these things, it usually goes down, and here's one in reverse, and that has shown that the market's gone up. Obviously it's not perfect, but if you see when you see something where it's got really clear defined lines, and then just that little like part where the root of the tooth would go, it's usually a good sign. I don't know if it's probably a bit of a rubbish one there, so I don't really like that one, but that one, I think that one actually worked, only to a small degree. Maybe you could scalp a point, but I used to call them witches' teeth and witches' hats, because that's if you go the other way. Anyway, in a bit to keep this video short, I'm going to end it now. I'll do the sheet, and I'll speak to you on Skype. I did send you an email just explaining about what I need from you in terms of I need your address so I can get the lawyers to make some changes to the document, and that's it, and then I can get that across to you. Anyway, that's it for now. Cheers, bye.